Hello there, Scorpio, and welcome to your July forecast. Really great to see everyone again. I like to start every month off with a little bit of channeled information, and the way I get that is I select a deck of cards to use for your sign and I meditate. For you, as I was doing this, I kind of saw like a volume switch turning up or like a loudspeaker, and I really got what this was is for you to speak up or to stand up for something that you believe in this month. So to counter, to oppose, to stand up, to speak up, it's basically about being heard, about being seen. So a lot of times there's passive energy for some signs in a month, sometimes there's active. Yours is definitely very active. So, I mean, this can take a lot of different shapes depending on what your life is like. If you're happy, this can be about getting involved with a cause that brings you some sort of joy or that you feel driven to support. If you're in a situation where you're either being taken advantage of or feel like you're not being appreciated, this is about not letting that happen anymore. It can also be as simple as speaking up and creating boundaries in your life. But the main thing here is that there isn't a need to sort of like stand up for yourself. So that's the general information coming through for you in the channeled portion. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards and see what they have to say. For those of you that are brand new to the channel, I just want to welcome you. And as I shuffle the cards here, I'll give you a quick rundown on how I organize each reading for each sign. So I like to start with channeled information, then I pull a Celtic cross for each sign, and after that I expand it to include health, wealth, love, and destiny. So let's see what we've got here. I do something a little different for mine. I like to pull an extra card from an oracle deck, and I call that card the catalyst. And that's really what sort of sets the month into motion, also connects everything else that we see. So your catalyst card for the month of July is going to be certainty or phrenology. But with certainty, and this has come up a few times this month, this is really about your own power of cognition, sort of like pulling in what you need in your life. Think of it as a net. The more you know what you want, the more you're able to kind of like filter and bring that to you. If you're scattered in your thoughts, then you're also scattered in your experiences. And so if you kind of look at people that may have more of a chaotic life, they may not know exactly what it is they want to do or who they're looking for. They might date a lot of different types of people because they're trying to figure out who they are. And I don't think we sometimes think about that. Our love and friendship relationships are very much sort of a mirror of ourselves. So what you really want to focus on this month is being very clear on what's important to you, what you can't have in your life anymore, what you need to make a change with in your life here too, because we have this counter opposed card, stand up. So know what you want and don't be afraid to go after it, even if it's the unpopular option. That is how changes happen. You know, there's always someone who needs to sort of stand up and say, how about this? So that's how social changes happen, how unions and things like that happen. So think about what it is in your life that you want. Think about how far you want to go to help manifest it, and then work towards that. All right, now for the cards. As we look at the center, we have Nine of Wands. It's upright. This is showing someone who's capable of handling anything. And it's also a card of near completion. For me, of course, and in tarot in general, tens are always about finishing up something, wrapping something up. So with the Nine of Wands, it's basically a note to say that don't give up just yet. And we have the Eight of Cups, and I've seen this appear a few times as well this month. The reason I mention that, I've actually had people complain, like, why do you mention what happens in other signs? Well, because it's about general energy trend. So if I see the same card like 5 times, it's worth mentioning because that's an energetic trend. So for you, with the Eight of Cups, where I've seen it in other signs, second chances are coming through. Second chances in work in particular. So if you've had challenges in the past, you may have opportunities in the future. So don't give up. The other thing with the Eight of Cups is it's a card of cyclical work, cyclical things happening. And what I notice here as we look at the Wheel of Fortune card, it's in reverse. So there's some cycles with money where you're not getting what you deserve. You're not, or if you're earning it, for some reason it's not staying in your life or in your bank account. So whatever your sort of habits or relationship with money is, this month you get a second chance to reestablish it. And remember, if you're gonna fight for what you want or change something, it starts first with a feeling of I'm ready to make that change happen. the other reason we have certainty is there's a lot going on for you. I look at recent past, we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups, even though it's an emotional card, it's actually very thought-based. It could easily be swords, but it's about all sorts of opportunities, but you got to follow your passion. I think that's why this exists within cups. And so the more you feel what you're doing, the more others feel it. And whatever is sort of in the periphery that you can't, it's kind of drowning stuff out, try to focus on 2 or 3 things, and then all of a sudden you don't feel so out of control. You don't feel like you're not making any headway. So think of making a list and really trying to check off a couple of things this month. I want you to pay attention to stress management and also sleep habits this month. And if you need to hear it, I'm going to tell you this based on the cards I'm seeing. I think things are going to shift for you. The Nine of Swords happens sometimes when we think ourselves into a corner and stress ourselves out unnecessarily. So it's important to be critical. It's important to listen to those sort of, primal things like fear and anxiety. Sometimes they're warning signs and they can prepare us. But if we put too much energy into them, it's kind of like the monster under your bed. It gets bigger and bigger. When you look underneath and there's nothing there, suddenly you can sleep. So I want you to not give in to your fears, to actually approach them, acknowledge that that's just part of life, and then let them go. We have the Sun card in reversed. So as an aspect of your own personality, this is reminding you to put other people first. A lot of times I have to remind people to think of themselves, but I think this month there's going to be a lot more gained by generosity and by empathy. So don't be afraid to step outside of yourself. And if you, either you or someone in your life is exhibiting sort of egotistical characteristics, try to gently turn the tide this month and focus again on service, on helping others. When we have the World card in reverse, some major changes are going to be happening around you. This is in your environment position. So we're looking at the environment. I feel like the changes are pretty positive. Queen of Swords above it, Sun below it, but there's a lot of stress involved with it and a lot of maybe lack of direct communication about some of these changes. So if you're moving, make sure you're asking for help. Make sure you feel like the move is organized. If there's restructuring happening at your company, which is very possible with this, then do your best to just stay focused. That's what the Queen of Swords is here in the desired action, hopes and fears as well. And then also just know that the world in reverse is telling us to open up our mind, to think in another way, sometimes to go well beyond what the status quo is. And the outcome for the month is quite positive for you. We've got Six of Wands. It's reversed though. So what this is showing me is that recognition, but not through the usual channels. It may come secondhand and you'll find out, oh my God, this person actually thought I did a great job. I wish they would have told me themselves, but you'll still get the feedback. And the feedback is still good feedback. You can't always get it the way, it should be, but just be appreciative of what you receive. Overall, I think the energy is good. Your biggest challenge this month, it looks like it's going to be with how to organize your finances, how to spend your time, and trying not to give in too much to fear or to stress or to secondhand news that you hear from other people. Focus more on what's black and white, and that's what the Queen of Swords is saying. Be direct. If someone says something, ask them about their source. They may not have one. They may just be stirring the pot a little bit. So let's expand your forecast and start with your health card and see how this is going to affect the forecast for this month. Just a reminder that I always view health as mind, body, and spirit. So we'll see what kind of message the cards want to deliver you this month. So we have feeling alone. Definitely emotions are playing a major part. We saw that with the Nine of Swords, maybe feeling like there's nobody to talk to. And maybe feeling like you need more than people are giving to you. And then basically the way the tarot cards were organized, I guess you have to give to get is basically the message. So don't be afraid to hang out with someone, but you might have to, and maybe ask for help, but you might have to start first by just asking how they're doing and spending some time to get to know them better. And through the natural course of communication and conversation, they're going to open up to you and ask more about you as well. So don't, basically don't feel like you have to keep this all inside. We have the number 5. The first week is when some of these heavy emotions will be coming in. So that'll be a good time for you to reach out. But remember, service or assistance first, and then kind of asking for what you need. As we look at relationships, as we look at wealth first, we looked at health, let's look at wealth. Wealth, I'm using the Ganesha deck this month to help you overcome any sort of barriers that you might be experiencing in work. And we have delight. I love this card because it's basically showing you that the way to be more productive this month is through having fun, making time for play, making time for relaxation. Also, trying not to be so serious about things. Not always talking business when you're at work, sometimes just getting to know people. It's those moments when you let your guard down and you become more real that the relationships around you grow. So this isn't just work, it actually is going to spill over into other relationships in your life. And that'll affect your money in a better way, because if you have the ability to kind of like let loose and let some of the emotion out, you're not going to be looking to other outlets to sort of like spend money to heal yourself. All right, so let's take a look now at the relationship card, which it's love, but not just romantic relationship. It can be any sort of relationship. Let's just see what the flavor of the card is. So for relationships this month, we have experiencing grace, and it says, share your gifts with grace, waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So the key thing here is to treat people the way you want to be treated in love, in relationships, in work, in life, in family. And sometimes this is about not having to prove that you're right, not having to call someone out on their mistakes. Being graceful is assuming that people know what they're doing, and also giving faith, or releasing the sort of karmic justice to sort of act as it needs to. You don't have to worry always about complaining or making something happen in that respect. Spend your energy on stuff you care about. So if it happens to be relationships and that's what you want to focus on, great. Just make sure that that's where you want to put your energy this month, because I feel like it's one or two things that you want to put as your focus, not everything. Let's take a look now at your destiny card for this month and see if you're headed in the direction that you want to be. I like to remind people that this is a flexible card. So we have the Four of Cups here, and the Four of Cups is a card of longing. It can be a card of compromise, and it can also be a card of missed opportunities. So I don't want you to miss an opportunity. And as I was reading this card, I paid attention to the High Priestess in reverse, which usually indicates not listening to your own instincts, your own intuition. So you may have had some warnings this month. Pardon me while I take a drink. You may have had some warnings this month or last month where you didn't fully sort of tune into your intuition. If that happened, I want you now to I think more frequently embrace what it is that you're receiving. Don't be afraid to go with something because you have a gut instinct. The other thing is to look beyond the negative. So try to be as optimistic as possible with regards to relationships and opportunities around you, because there's something on the horizon that's going to improve. All right, let's bring it all together into focus here. Your channeled information was to stand up for yourself, to sometimes counter or oppose what the norm may be, the status quo may be. That's not always going to be a popular option, but it may be important for you this month. In order to do that, though, you have to really be clear on why you're doing it. So we have the certainty card, which is all about really making up your mind, and that's why we see the brain here front and center. We'll look at the arrangement of the cards one last time. Your crowning card is the Wheel of the Year, the Wheel of Fortune. It's slightly, well, it's not slightly, it's reversed, which is showing a slight change or backward momentum when it comes to money, to earning, and to self-worth. So those are areas that you want to start to focus on this month. Part of this has to do with listening to yourself, the High Priestess. And again, I'm tying that card to the Four of Chalices or the Four of Cups. Don't let something pass you by just because you were afraid or you didn't trust yourself. Limit how much you're focusing on this month. Work hard, don't give up. I see that you're very qualified for whatever opportunities open up for you. You're going to have second chances with work in particular. And in relationships this month, I want you to be careful with being too self-aware or too self-centered. You want to start first with service and then open up, and then people will be more than happy to help you. There are changes happening around you. It's not the Tower, it is the world. The world reverse is showing usually changes for the better and not as drastic as the Tower, but they are going to change the way you think or live. So be open to them, work with them, maybe participate in them. And the counter and oppose card that I had channeled for you is basically saying, if you want to make a difference and change things in policy around you, get involved. Queen of Swords is about speaking up. It's about deciding basically what's worth your time and energy, and then putting it in it, and knowing that your words, spoken, written, etc., are very powerful. You have a chance to be seen this month. Be ready for that opportunity. You are probably going to be asked to speak up, so don't be afraid of that. As we expand the forecast to look at health, a general note to not sort of suffer alone. If you're having anything that you're ashamed or afraid to talk about, make sure you go to your doctor and talk about that. If you're just feeling lonely, this is a time to get involved. But remember, start first with empathy and asking others how they feel, and then allow them to ask about you. This is reverse. I want you to have a lot more fun when it comes to business. Even if you don't love your job, try to do something that creates joy in your social spheres at work. That's going to bring you more success and generally make work more palatable for you. As we look at love, it's about not having to prove you're right this month. Just being graceful, allowing the lessons to come and go, and to allow for new love to come into your life if old love is leaving. And finally, be open to new opportunities. Think outside of the box. Embrace the changes that are happening, because, as we see with this floating cup here in the distance, there might be something that really suits you that you never thought about, but it's coming into your life. So I hope this was helpful for you and gave you the information you need to navigate through the month. I wanted to also let you know that I'm going to try something new just for this month. I'm going to try weekly videos. I'll probably post them on Sunday or Monday, but I'll do one per week and try to forecast out for about 7 days, see how you guys react with that, and also see how it fits in with my time. But I like to switch things up and try new things, so let me know if you like that. A good way to keep in touch and know when I do different things is to subscribe to the channel. There are 2 buttons you can use. There's a subscribe button and also a bell. The bell will opt you into emails, so you can do as much or as little as you like with that. I have a newsletter as well if you just like to avoid YouTube and Google, so feel free to join me there, or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. So make it very easy to stay in touch. You can pick whatever works for you. If you like this and you just want to sort of support me, there's a link within the description so you can give me a donation, but that's completely up to you. I do this because I want to. So finally, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate all of the likes, the support, and the positive comments that you guys put here every month. It really makes the time and energy that I put into this well worth it. So I wish you much love, abundance, and support this month. The changes are happening for the better, and I see some really good things, even though it's a little scary to go through the Wheel of Fortune and the World card reversed. Ultimately, they're going to be very good changes for you. Okay? Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in a month's time. Bye-bye.